Chris Charlton for KaijuPop.com, and today we're having a look at Oquonie on iOS, the product of sort of Tokyo-based game designer, artist, musician, general all-around good egg, Alice Effect. But despite the fact that Alice Effect is an artist, this isn't his art, but instead the work of Rekka Bell. So this is a collaboration between the two of them. And gameplay wise, it's a tricky one, which you might have figured out if you're familiar with this guy's work. Alice Effect previously put out iOS on iOS. That's the other sort of gamey thing that he's done, which was very sort of Myst-like an approach. It was a first-person, pointy-clicky adventure game, which is a very sort of loose and, I don't know, simplified way of putting it. But this kind of takes its gameplay cues from isometric adventures, like Head Over Heels, Cadaver, things like that. As I suppose it's sort of loose inspiration just for this isometric approach. But I think gameplay-wise, it's similar in a way to iOS. It's about sort of spotting visual cues and then using those in kind of not really. I think it's probably a trap to say non-Euclidean. I think these are all Euclidean spaces. It's just that they don't quite make the normal rules of sense. You might sort of walk off the screen in one part and end up in one room, and then walk backwards and you'll end up in a completely different room. Basically, the usual deal is, and I'm starting from scratch here. I have played a little bit of this, but I'm starting from the beginning, mainly so that it's for mine and your own benefit, so you don't see me sort of running around for 15 minutes being stuck. So at least this is familiar. Basically, you'll come across a series of doors, and here is the door that I want to go through from the beginning here in this office. And I come up here, and there's, I guess, my boss sort of thing says a sentence to me, and it's all in this cryptographic language. And that's another thing that's common with Alice Effect stuff. He's a keen, he's a guy that's really interested in language and codes and codifying stuff, and will create his own languages on a whim. So all the characters in this game, they have their own language. But usually they'll say something that relates to an object, and a couple of things that I need, and I think the take-home here is this file of facts. And that's what I'm going to go out and look for here. I look around, I could tap the sort of four corners of the screen, not the four corners of the screen, but the four sort of sides, up, down, left, right, to move, relative to the screen rather than relative to the character. It's not the most, sometimes you'll wind up going in the wrong direction, but it's hardly like you have to work at a pace, so it's not like it's a big deal. And yeah, I can find these file effects things on the photocopiers. So I take one and it's in my inventory. And you can see again, that's a helpful hint from the photocopier. It's like, hey, you've got one of these. You should probably look for more. There's another one. And now I've got two of them. And I'm going to keep on looking for these. And every so often, this little guy with this sort of Tengu with a record on his nose, we'll see him again in a little bit, but you can talk to him in these speakers to turn the music on and off. I don't know why you would want to turn the music off. It sounds beautiful. Again, kind of as you would expect. But this is kind of my first time seeing Rekka Bell's artwork, and the one thing that's kind of hit home is just how beautiful this game is. And I mean, it came out yesterday, and I think ever since my Twitter feed's been blowing up of people taking screenshots and just going, look at this and look at this. It looks stunning. Just very, very obscure, very bizarre. But I'm going to correct this third file effects there. I'm happy. I'm a happy, weird penis in a suit. So now I've got this file, which I can take off to my boss over this way. I think it's this way. Oops, that's not right. Yeah, it kind of... I'm gonna go through here, I think. Nope, don't want to go through there. Here we go, yeah. I go to here, and I speak to my boss. I'm going to assume he's congratulating me there on a job well done. And there's a little bit of an earthquake. And now here's a scary red death baby. So that's weird. That's the sort of early plot twist here. It's all about sort of, I don't know, exploring a very weird, very alien spaces, starting from a familiar environment. And it's something, and we've spoken to Alice Effect before on the website, on kaijupop.com. You can check out our interview with him from last year, and it's something that he talks about a lot of, kind of wanting the player to feel like they're living in an alien space. He's a Canadian guy. In fact, both him and his partner are, and they lived in Japan for the last couple of years. And he kind of talks about wanting to convey that feeling of living somewhere or trying to get around somewhere that's at once familiar and alien at the same time. So here's this door again that I'm trying to get through, and get it again. My take home is always the last symbol of these three. That's usually what I tend to go and look for. But at the same time, there's all these switches that I kind of keep seeing, but you can't really interact with them. I'm not exactly sure how they play into the game here. This is a game, I mean, what you saw at the beginning of the video was the beginning of the game. It doesn't offer, any tutorials. There's these symbols, which I tend to take and then sort of take pictures of so I can make future note of them later. I'm sure they'll become important. But, you can't know why. It's kind of it's up to you to either figure it out or to talk to people. And I'm not talking about these people that speak weird alien language, but talk to actually other human beings to kind of figure this stuff out. So yeah, there's that Tengu guy, that speaker. The intercom in the office is now this dude. And yeah, I'm sure there's a purpose for that. And so yeah, I'm sure I've been through a couple of spaces before already where it doesn't make sense from a sort of standard mapping standpoint, and that's the idea that I can go out one time, and usually it's kind of dependent on objects. If you leave an object with a person and then kind of come back to a previous screen, it'll change, and that's kind of important for solving some of these puzzles. Walk through. I did get quite a good bit further than this before, so I'll buckle down and concentrate. Perhaps I'll let you listen to some music while I try and figure this out, because it was a fair bit further on before I stopped. Here we go. Here, saying something mysterious. There you go. That's the next thing I need. And then I've got all these bits, and suddenly I'll transform into this melancholy Suicidal rabbit dude. I don't know, perhaps if we're staying with the Japanese theme, this is your salaryman and late night in Shibuya. I don't know, but then I can progress to the next section. I think at this point, I mean, I don't want to go too far into this because let me take the lift down here to another bizarre space. I don't want to spoil too much. That's what I'll say. I don't want to spoil too much. I don't want to be embarrassed by being stuck in any sense. But the point is to be stuck, and the point is not to look up answers, but to chat about ideas and interpretations to stuff, and sort of get closer to sort of figuring out the mysteries of this weird space, which I think is a really good thing. I don't think this is for everyone, and I'm sure Aspect would tell you the same thing. It's very definitely not for everyone, but it's well worth a try, and I don't think you can argue the fact that it looks gorgeous, that it sounds gorgeous. There's a soundtrack available right now, which is Buy As You Want from Bandcamp, and I mean, it's, if nothing else, give it a shot for an audio-visual kind of experience, and if you're the type that actually kind of wants to be tested mentally by your video games, then definitely give this a pop. It's Oquonie on iOS right now for $3, I think. And that's pretty much it for now. Chris Charlton for kaijupop.com. Thanks for watching. Bye.